I've always been something of a dreamer, but I never imagined my life would turn this way. In 2 weeks' time, me and Nick are scheduled to die. Most perplexed question of this case, Judge Thayer asked last April 9. Mr. Vanzetti, have you anything to say why a sentence of death should not be passed upon you? Why you ask that question, Judge Thayer? First day in America. I love this place. We all crazy, excited, the promised land. Everybody jump, sing, they're happy. Maybe not everybody. Everything fast. The official push the steerage passenger like animals. Children cling to the mother's skirt, weeping. Until yesterday, I was with people who understand my language. This morning, I awakened a land where my words mean little more than pitiful noise of a dumb animal. Where was I to go? What was I to do? The elevator rattled by, don't answer. Cars, trucks speed by, don't see me. Why no welcoming committee? Maybe this place don't love me. I'd rent a hot bed for a few hours. Keep one eye open for the bed bug. With a few money, I set out for Hartford, Connecticut. Knock on many, many doors for work. Work? No. An American farmer opened to my knock. You got work? No work. But he give me food. He'd take me to a small town, look for work. Still nothing. It's okay, you work on my farm. I know he don't need me. He keep me 2 weeks. I always memorize that American family. First American to treat me human. town to town, village to village, farm to farm. Nothing doing. Nothing doing. Finally, in a brick factory, I found work in the furnace. After 10 months, I go to Meriden, Connecticut. Work 2 years in the stone pits.
Wheelbarrow all day long. Where do you work? What do you do? What? Wherever I go, I work. Dig a ditch, farm, quarry, New York, pastry cook, my profession. But I don't like to work inside. I like fresh air. Don't like to work too long. I like to read a book. I want to learn what the book of life has to offer. You understand, huh? We're just the masters. In the factory, there's a nice custom at break time. One of the workers reads from the podium, story, poem, book of politics.
They say that you are free in this great and wonderful country. But I say that all the working class in the United States are slaves. Slaves because the man that owns the tools, the house, the factory, the bread of another man, owns that man's mind, body, heart, and soul.
Everybody learns something. My compatriot Nick Sacco works in a shoe factory in Milford, Massachusetts. You see the child worker get beat if he falls asleep, get sick on the floor. And the boss push the kid's face in the vomit like a dog.
(1912), big strike hit Lawrence. Women and children march across this bridge. First singing strike in America. The company want to cut work hours or lower wages. Women say no, 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 no. Funny story about this bridge. A police officer guarded the bridge to the mill during the strike. A group of Italian women grabbed that officer. They strip him of his club, his badge, his gun, start to take off his trousers before throwing him in the Merrimack River. They have to call in the state militia to save him. Nick Sacco, he'd jump into the strike. He'd bring food, drink to the workers. He and his wife Rosina performing plays all over New England that will raise money for the strike workers. About this time, I joined anarchists in North End, Boston. We used to meet here, Felicani's print shop, La Notizia. I become anarchist is no accident. You live your life in despair long enough, you get your head beat down, kicked upon, spit upon, lied to, cheated long enough, you too become anarchist. That's not all. We talk, read, meditate on all life. I read Cuore by Diamacis, Promessi Sposi,
Studied the works of Kropotkin, Gorky, Merlino, Malatesta, read Marx's Capital. Enough? Add to that the Bible, Renan's Life of Jesus, and Jesus Christ Never Existed by Miselbo. Here I read Leopardi and wept with him. Studied further Hugo, Tolstoy, Zola, Cantu, the poetry of Giusti, Guerini, Rappesadi, Carducci. Next to Sacco, I have the biggest library in Charlestown Prison. But I brought to my study a cruel observation of man, plants, and animals. Life, that is the book of books. All the others merely teach how to read this one. "1916, I take job with the biggest cord factory in the world. Slave condition. You start work before the sun come up, just when the blood begin to flow. You late 1 minute, you dock 1 hour. More and more I talk on the speaker's platform. With the Irish, the French, German, the poor people, and other Italian. We strike. Cannot keep my mouth shut. At the end of strike, I am blacklisted and watched close by police. We dance in the Plymouth street. All is not grim. The Brini family rent me a room. Vincenzo is also anarchist. My God, we fight all the wars. Capitalist, socialist, communist, anarchist. Then we eat Italian food and go to bed. Brini's son, Beltrando, is my little friend. He hurts my ear with a violin. My last job before jail is to peddle fish in Plymouth. Beltrando is my helper. I tell him, don't play the violin by the fish or they die 2 times. Try to remember this date. June 2, 1919. A man blows up United States Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer's house in Washington, D.C. There was lots of bombings then because many radical groups want to take over the government. Palmer started famous Red Raids, the arrest of thousands of immigrants suspected to be radical. It was a dangerous time in America for Italians. Compatriot Andrea Salcedo is arrested in New York. They find his body crushed after 14th-story fall from Justice Department window. Some of us take a gun. The word is out. Hide anarchist books, literature, newspapers. Me and Sacco's name are on a list. They watch us. May 5, 1920. Sacco and me are arrested in a Brockton trolley car. Not charged with any crime. Police question us about anarchy. We don't tell them nothing. District Attorney Fred Katzman, he questioned us in the Brockton jail. You, anarchist? No. You, Bolshevist? No. What you? Nothing. Soon I am indicted for attempted robbery of a shoe factory in Bridgewater. Webster Thayer is the judge. Remember that name. Frederick Katzman is the prosecutor. Remember that name. I am tried in Plymouth, my own town. Mr. Katzman, he is a clown. He make fun of my Italian witness. He make a joke with the jury, sing opera in the courtroom. Beltrando Brini, my 12-year-old star witness, Mr. Katzman tried to ridicule the boy, tried to trap him. Beltrando tell him I could not possibly have committed the crime because he worked with me the whole time peddling fish. December 24, the day of the crime. Then I'm shocked.
My attorney tell me I better not take the stand in my own defense. Shh! You babble about radical ideas, anarchism, they're gonna lock you up and throw away the key. Besides, your English is bad.
In 1 week, I am convicted. Judge Thayer sentenced me 12 to 15 years at hard labor in Charlestown State Prison. It's a dream. I never have such bad dream in my sleep as in life.
Why did the judge look at me with such hate?
Well, my witness dropped tears from the eyes. I feel like Christ at Calvary. Same age, too. September 11, 1920.
While I'm in Charlestown prison,
Me and Sacco were indicted for murder of 2 payroll cars and a rob of $15,000, South Braintree, Massachusetts. You cannot believe.
but many people do.
And crazy thing happened. We learned that Judge Thayer and District Attorney Katzman make special requests to try the case. First time in the history of Massachusetts that the same judge and the same prosecutor tried the same man for 2 crimes. Crazy thing number 2 happened. Prosecution sent Angelina DeFalco, court interpreter, to visit the Sacco Vanzetti Defense Committee. I smell something in Denmark. They meet at La Notizia, Felicane's newspaper. Mrs. DeFalco talked fast, nervous. She tell Felicane that the prosecution want to make a deal. They stage a mock trial. At end, acquittal for me and Nick. It'll going to be expensive, $40,000. Felicane, he don't tell Fred Moore, chief defense attorney. Instead, he make a plan to go visit Miss DeFalco at her home to discuss terms. But Fred Moore hears about the plan. He tells Felicane, you don't go to that woman's home. I accept no terms. Instead, Moore indicts the prosecution for bribery. Every day, puts it on the front page. Katzman, Katzman's brother, Mrs. DeFalco. Whole prosecution go to court.
Moore tried and did put the Massachusetts court on trial in a Massachusetts court.
The trial judge threw the case out of court. From then on, they're out for blood. You don't embarrass the courts in Massachusetts 1920.
Send the word over there that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the drum coming.
May 31, 1921. Day after Memorial Day, we go to trial in Dedham. Dedham is a small, sleepy town, maybe 10, 11 miles west from Boston. Before the trial began, me and Nick, we don't talk too good English. One day, an old lady come to visit us. Mrs. Elizabeth Glendower Evans. She got fire in the eye, covered with sugar. I mean, she's a sweet lady. I teach you English, she say. Why? We got interpreter. It's important you learn English to defend yourself in the courtroom. Thank you. We got lawyer, Fred Moore. He defend us. He may defend you, but only you can save you. We got a lot to say, me and Nick, so we agree it might be a good idea to learn English from this lady. Besides, she is rich, too. That don't hurt. Example, Sacco Vanzetti Defense Committee need money. Maybe Mrs. Evans raise it. Lots of it. Only thing, Mrs. Evans talk a lot about God. You know, Nick and me are atheists. Anarchist and atheist, two worst things you can be in America. Our future don't look too bright. Mrs. Evans, she don't care. She come every week teach us English. She don't like we call her Mrs. Evans. Say Auntie B, my name is Auntie B. So we call her Auntie B. Me and Sacco make a joke. Auntie B the bumblebee.
For a time, every day we march on Dedham streets to and fro the courthouse. People line the sidewalk. Most stare with their mouths open. Some laugh, make stupid talk. What is that? Vegetable? Animal? Mineral? No, it's a guinea. All the time, people whisper, anarchist, communist.
Allow me to introduce to you the Dedham Courthouse. Designed by Solomon Willard, inspired by ancient Greek temple. Cornerstone laid July 4, 1825. Finished 2 years later, 1827, just 7 years before the government deported Cherokee Indians from Georgia to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears. I know your history. You should know it too. Legends say that criminal was hung in the cupola until more humane form of execution. These windows was covered with lead shutters. They look as wood, but they was lead to prevent anarchists from throwing a bomb into the courtroom. All spectators was searched for weapons, while state police guard with shotguns. Dedham, the little town, does fear that maybe Sacco Vanzetti get free, bomb the town. All precautions have been taken to protect us. Here we sit in the animal cage so the peace-loving citizens don't attack us. It was a consideration beyond our expectation. All the familiar faces take their place. Thayer and Katzman hate Fred Moore. Fred Moore is from California, strike one. He grow his hair long and wear sandals in the courtroom, strike two. He had already prosecuted the prosecution, strike three. We are out before we even get up to bat. George Thayer threw daggers at Fred Moore, but Moore don't care. At recess, he go to sleep on the grass outside the courthouse. Moore broke every rule of propriety in Puritan Massachusetts, and then some. Some days, he don't even come to trial. Where is he? Nobody knows. A few days later, he shows up. Sacco is very angry. Of course, you know the trial is about murder and robbery. 2 payroll guards at a shoe factory in South Braintree was gunned down by 5 men. They take $15,000. No money was ever found. No 5 men was arrested. Only me and Sacco. Sure, we carry guns, me and Sacco. Remember, we are radicals. Our compatriot Salcedo was murdered by Justice Department. An Italian radical with half a brain carry a gun in those days, Katzman is a brilliant lawyer. He never missed a chance to exploit the situation, like a good lawyer should. He proposed that he don't tell the jury about our radicalism, in exchange that we do not call in character witnesses. Fred Moore agrees.
not a nail in our coffin. But life is not so prescribed. Katzman calls me and Sacco to the stand. What were you doing on the night of your arrest? We was on the trolley car. No, what were you doing on that night before your arrest? Long moment of hesitate. To tell the truth or to lie? We got to take Boda's car.
What did you do with Boda's car?
We got to take literature, newspapers, books from 5 or 6 people and put that in a house not subject to policemen go in and call for. As in that time, they went into the house of many men who were active in the radical movement, and they go there and they take books and they take letters and they deport many. Many have been misused in jail and so on. It is out. All is fuss and feathers. Now the jury know we are radicals, officially. Unofficially, they knew all along. I am relieved. No more pretense. Suddenly, questions about the crime stop. Anarchy take center stage. Katzman lights up. He is a dragon smelling blood. The jury awakes. Katzman start by waving the flag.
In May 1917, you left Plymouth to dodge the draft, didn't you?
Not exactly.
Well, were you physically unable to be a soldier?
I don't talk of the physical. As an alien, I was not compelled to go in the draft.
Were you physically sound?
I ought to be.
Physically sound as you were, when this country was at war, you ran away so you would not have to fight as a soldier,
Yes, sir. Me and Sacco, we go to Mexico. And Katzman go after Sacco.
Mr. Sacco, did you love this country in the month of May 1917?
Sacco say yes.
Don't you think going away from your country is a vulgar thing to do when she needs you?
Sacco is more direct than I. He say, I don't believe in war. Katzman goes for the jugular.
That is love of country, is it?
Yes. Then, at this point, Fred Moore wake up.
I object to this whole line of interrogation, if Your Honor please.
Judge Thayer fights back. Are you going to claim that the defendant's collection of all that literature and books was really done in the interest of the United States?
Your Honor, please. I now object to Your Honor's statement as prejudicial to the rights of the defendant, and ask that this statement be withdrawn from the record.
There was no prejudicial remark made that I know of, and none were intended. It went this way day in and day out. We are in a boiler pot. One day, Sacco explode and give a lesson to the court. Sacco's speech is like a work of art. Only thing missing is music. He tell the court that worker with large family have no chance to send his boy to Harvard College, that this country is like Spain centuries ago. Katzman don't like that.
So we're like Spain centuries ago, are we?
Sacco say,
Poor class can't send his child to Harvard College. Not if he want to eat. I want men to live like men. That is why I love people who makes no more war.
Mr. Sacco! Sacco don't hear. Pay no attention to Judge Thayer. Some people jiggle, but Sacco is strong.
The war for the great millionaire. Business come on this side. What right we have to kill the German, the Irish, the French? I love them people, just as I love my wife. Why I go kill them men? What he done to me? Nothing. So I don't believe in no war. I want destroy those guns.
Bravo, Nicola! Auntie B's garden. She worked tireless for our defense committee. She gives speeches to Boston Brahmin upper class. She raised thousands of dollars for our defense. Without this woman, we'd be dead long time ago.
Best part of Dedham Jail is when Auntie B bring us picnic. Elegant food, lobster bisque, and brownies. I love brownies. Until we meet Auntie B, we see the upper class as aliens, just as they see us, but not Auntie B. Not only she teach us English, but we begin to see the humanity in all class. Indeed, Sacco wrote a precious letter to Gardner Jackson, one-time reporter for the Boston Globe.
Dear friend Jackson, unfortunately, we represent two opposite classes. The first, the one to live at any cost, and the second, fight for the freedom. When it take away from him, he rebel. Of course, he knows the opposite class will crucify his holy rebellion. And certainly, as long as this system of things reign, will remain always the fight between these two opposite classes, today and always. But whenever the heart of one of the upper class join with the exploited worker, in the human sentiment is a feel of spontaneous attraction, of affection, of brotherly love, one to another.
Each day, District Attorney Coxman insists on prosecuting our case on political ground. The jury, in all their Yankee wisdom, know the difference between a criminal case and political trial. But they see no difference between an anarchist, a draft dodger, an atheist, and a murderer. Hence, we are doomed. Still, we fight on. Fred Moore, in his wisdom, tell us he's going to make the case in international cause celebre. He does, and I believe this was a stroke of genius. Il migliore, we say in Italian. In no time, every newspaper in the world come out with an opinion. Soon every radical group under the sun, and then some support us. Communist, Bolshevik, Democrat, Republican, some even capitalist. The Community Church of Boston, first church in America, step up to the plate. I feel confident we're going to win this case.
We are convicted of first-degree murder. That means we either get the chair or life in prison. Fred Moore is impassioned.
We're going to take this to the highest court in the land. First, we got appeals. Stand tall. We're going to win.
We don't stand so tall, but we have hope. Fred Moore really go to work after our conviction. Motion for a new trial is filed. December 24, 1921, Christmas Eve. Thayer denies motion for a new trial. Merry Christmas.
Why do they hate us? It's very simple on one side. On the other side is full of mystery. Consider the charge. Walter Ripley is foreman of the jury. Before he take that job, his friend told him, "I don't believe those 2 guineas are guilty." Ripley, the foreman of the jury, fire back, "Damn them, they ought to hang them anyway." His friend of 28 years write this in affidavit. Should Judge Thayer give us a new trial? Think about it. Before the Judge Thayer can think clearly, Mr. Moore bombarded him with 6 more motions for a new trial. Now, while Thayer's the only judge by law to pass on these motions, we expect a fight. Still, the evidence is overwhelming in our favor. August 18, 1924,
Sacco drops the bomb. He fires Fred Moore.
I tell you, 1 year ago, don't speculate on our case. No, better yet, I want you out. But you still here. Still play your infamous game. No more. Out.
Nick tell Auntie B he is tired of her philanthropy. Wants her out too. No, Nicola, not Auntie B. She is our lifeblood. October 1, 1924. Judge Thayer denies all motions for a new trial. Low point in Sacco Vanzetti case? Don't even think about it. Our blood is up. You should understand that Judge Thayer had a point of view. He thinks we want to overthrow the government of this country. And you know what? He was right. We were planning to do so. Why, you may ask? What's the matter, you immigrant? You live in the richest, the safest, the most opportunity country in the world. Why you want to change this country? Why? I answer. You like your children work in the factory long hours in the night. When these children's hands are broken, when these children go without medical help, when these children grow old before their time, too tired to do their studies, too weak to think, too sick with fear of the boss, of the government, of their own parents even, then we have no democracy but the start of fascismo. Fascismo. No better than in my country. Your lawyer, New Hope, William Thompson, take our case. He is a tough, aristocrat Boston lawyer. Conservative, God-fearing, not a Fred Moore. Young Mr. Ehrman, junior counsel to Thompson, jump into the case with 2 feet. These guys don't fool around. First step, prove that the fatal bullet was not fired from Sacco's gun. Bad news. It is proved that the fatal bullet was fired from Sacco's gun. Oops. Somebody switched the barrel of Sacco's gun. All bullet tests are proved null and void. Who switched the barrel? Nobody know, nobody say. Convict in Dedham jail, Celestino Medeiros, confessed to Sacco that he was one of the Morelli gang that do the crime in Braintree. If true, this will break our case wide open. Ehrman goes to Providence to investigate the Morelli gang. Victory in sight. Ehrman's wife Sarah discovers indictment on Morelli's for Braintree robbery. She is an angel. Caro sorella Luigi, if you were here now, I would take you to my beloved Cape Cod. Turns, feet mark of the salted sand, the sun dance, and the white cap wave. The judge there has to give us a new trial. There is no argument. 1 man has confessed and 4 others have been charged. I do believe that Judge Thayer hates us in the court, but he is a learned man, and he understands the trial of man against man. And he is human, and somewhere all human have compassion. He will see the real guilty, and not me and Nick. Tuo fratello Bartolomeo. It is 6 years we're behind the bars of justice. Or is it the bars against justice? The eternal war against peace.
Still, here is the hope, that most beautiful word, hope. Attorneys Thompson and Ehrman work like demons for our cause. They go after the big one, United States Department of Justice. What do they find? Attorney Katzman suggests to Agent Weiss, you put a spy in Sacco's home, rent a room from Rosina, become friends with Rosina, find out about Sacco's radical activities. Don't work. So they stick the spy in a cell next to Sacco.
I am sick by this news. That information was withheld from the defense during the trial. In 1926, we argue a bill of exceptions at the Supreme Judicial Court, and I do mean argue.
These men ought not to be sentenced to death as long as each can say, the government of this great country put spies in my cell, put spies in my wife's home, put spies on my friends, spies who took the money they collected to defend me and put it in their own pockets and joked about it afterwards, didn't believe me guilty, but helped convict me, could not get enough evidence to deport me under their laws of Congress, but were willing, as one of them openly said, to adopt the method of killing me for murder as one way to get rid of me. What are these secrets which they admit? And I say to your honor that a government which comes to value its own secrets more than it does the lives of its citizens is become a tyranny, whether you call it a republic, a monarchy, or anything else.
October 23, 1926.
Dare kill a motion for a new trial.
April 9, 1927.
Mr. Vanzetti, have you anything to say why sentence of death should not be passed upon you?
Yes. What I say is that I am innocent. In all my life, I have never robbed, I have never killed, and I have never spilled blood. Everybody that knows these two arms know very well I do not need to go between the street to kill a man to take the money. I can live with my two arms and live well. But not only that, in all my life I have struggled to eliminate crime from this earth. Not only the crime that the official law and the official moral condemn, but also the crime that the official law and the official moral sanction and sanctify. The exploitation and the oppression of the man by the man. We believe now more than ever that the war was wrong. And I am glad if I can stand here on the doomed scaffold and say to mankind, look out. You are living in the catacomb of the flower of mankind. And for what? All that he has promised to you, it was a lie. It was a cheat. It was a fraud. It was an illusion. It was a crime. They promise you liberty. Where is liberty? They promise you prosperity. Where is prosperity? Where is the moral good to come out of this war? Where is spiritual progress? Where is the respect for human life? This is what I say. And I don't like to say to an old man, Judge Thayer, because my father is an old man, so I don't like to say. But if all the people who know what you have said against us would have the civil courage to take the stand,
Maybe, Your Honor, maybe you would be beside us in good justice at this time. I would not wish to the most misfortunate creature on the face of this earth to suffer what I have suffered for things that I am not guilty. But my conviction is that I have suffered for things that I am guilty, because I was a radical. Indeed, I am a radical. Because I was an Italian. Indeed, I am an Italian. But I am so convinced to be right that if you could execute me 2 times, and I could be reborn 2 other times, I would live again to do exactly as I have done already. I have finished. Thank you. For the first time, I understand now what Judge Thayer means by the question, have you anything to say why a sentence of death should not be passed upon you? It is the greatest act of compassion ever devised by man. You may say everything in your defense, no time limit. Say why you should live. Clear your conscience and your guilt so you may go to your death with a clean soul. It is the Puritan equivalent of the Catholic confession. And this from the system separation of church and state. The judge has good friends. They write affidavits testifying to his opinion about us.
No Bolsheviks will intimidate Webb Thayer. Did you see what I did with those anarchist bastards the other day? I'll show them. I'll get those guys hanged.
Our defense recommend a petition for clemency to Governor Fuller. Me and Sacco fight. I sign, he don't. Victory is ours. Lawyer Elman uncovered a receipt for eels that was delivered to me the day before the Bridgewater crime. My alibi is secure. I never danced one day in my life. Today I can dance for a lifetime. The world erupts. Strikes in London, Paris, Buenos Aires, Tokyo. 100,000 telegrams storm the State House. Intellectuals march on the Capitol. John Dos Passos, St. Vincent Millay, Albert Einstein. We are famous. New era, year 1. Dear friends of the committee, get a million men. Bring me a microphone. I hope you have radiocasted at once my order of mobilization to all nations of the world. Big corps of men are on the march. Take all necessary precaution to crossing of Rio Grande and Panama Canal. Renew my notes to the King of Italy and the Pope. Keep me informed by wireless immediately of each move in particular. In nomine Patri, Filii et Spiritus Sancto. The state sponsored me a holiday at this great club. Sacco was here last year. Now it's my turn. The doc examined my brain. I examined his. Conclusion, both crazy. August 3, 1927. Governor Fuller denies clemency. August 8. Last motion for new trial denied by Judge there. Bertrando plays recital for us. Music is the soul of life. Bravo, Brittany.
I forget the date. No matter. Governor Fuller will come to visit me in my chamber. I tell him my thoughts straight out. Don't beat around the bush. He listened. This is an honest man. He wants to know the truth. We have something in common goal. Governor Fuller appoints a Blue Ribbon Committee to review our case. With my approval. Things take a turn for the better. He said I made a good impression. He likes me.
August 7th. The Blue Ribbon Committee give their report to the press. Governor Fuller makes his decision. Sacco and me will die tomorrow. Irony of ironies. The man who confessed to our crime, Celestino Medeiros, will die with us. Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes denies our case. States' rights. Fuller postpones the execution so Luigi can visit me.
Dear Auntie B, you were like this. There's a rambler on the trellis and a wild rose in the hedge, with a gay and golden Marechal near upon the arbor's edge. There's a sweetheart bud a-tapping at the window of my room, and my heart is singing, singing, for the roses are in bloom.
We are not here to determine whether these men were guilty or innocent. We are here to say that the high standards of justice, which we in Massachusetts take pride in, failed Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti. The atmosphere of their trial and appeals was permeated by prejudice against foreigners and hostility toward unorthodox political views. Now, therefore, I, Michael S. Dukakis, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, by virtue of the authority conferred upon me as Supreme Executive Magistrate by the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by all other authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, August 23rd, 1977, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Vanzetti Memorial Day. Today's proclamation will not wipe out their pain, nor is it meant to help us forget their cause. What it will do, I hope, is to say to the world that an injustice has been done. An injustice we must never repeat.
Thank you.